This experiment is identifying an unknown by infrared spectroscopy. The experiment was meant to provide a better understanding of how to interpret an unknown based on the IR spectra of the organic compound. Infrared radiation is radiation in the energy range between the visible and microwave regions of the electromagnetic spectrum. The portion of the IR spectral region is between 4,000 and 400 centimeters. An IR spectrum is a plot of the percentage of IR radiation that passes through a sample versus the frequency of the radiation. The radiation that passes through the sample is measured as percent transmission. The frequency of the radiation is measured in wavelengths per centimeter, known as wave number. The procedure for the experiment. Prepare a KBR pellet with unknown sample provided by the instructor. Place about 2 milligrams of the unknown and about 100 milligrams of dry KBR into a small agate mortar. Grind the mixture into a fine powder with a pestle. Remember to keep samples dry and instruments as well, otherwise the IR reading will be affected. When placing sample into press, make it a thin layer like wax paper. After the KBR pellet is made, place into the IR spectrometer and record the reading. At the end of the experiment, remove KBR pellet and dispose of properly or as the instructor advised. Wash the metal apparatus with water and dry. My unknown was AF. I first performed a melting point analysis and it reached a temperature of 260 degrees Celsius and never melted. The solubility, it was soluble in water, and then also my observations were it was a white powder. From the melting point analysis of it not melting at 260, it was observed that based on the unknown list provided by our instructor, my compound was possibly fumaric acid because fumaric has a melting point of 287 degrees Celsius. Fumaric acid also has a solubility in water. Then an IR spectrum analysis was made. An IR spectrum was measured, and from the graph, 3,300 inverse centimeters to 2,500 inverse centimeters was a carboxylic acid group, as well as at point 1723, there is a peak that's also carboxylic acid. The alkene group is found at peak 1621. Based on the data and observations of this IR spectroscopy, the unknown is believed to be fumaric acid. The chemical formula is C4H4O4. The molecular weight is 116.07 grams per mole. The melting point is 287 degrees Celsius. Fumaric acid has two functional groups, carboxylic acids and an alkene. There were possible errors performed in the experiment, such as not having a thin enough layer or not having enough sample in your KBR pellet. However, these mistakes can be fixed. Be more precise or vigilant with your measurements, and do not be afraid to redo your experiment. You want the best results. The references used for this experiment were Smith's textbook, pages 477 through 486, Lee Moses's article, Identifying an Unknown Compound by Infrared Spectroscopy. The pages 153 through 164 were used. Also, the article IR Spectroscopy Tutorial was used from the University of Colorado.